Hi everyone, welcome to another yoga snack. So today we're going to be talking about sciatica. I've been experiencing sciatica pain for the last, 5 months, and I know a few other people that have been dealing with this as well. So I thought I would put together this yoga snack to show you some things that you can do to release some pain. Now, sciatica is pain that comes from the sciatic nerve when it's pinched or compressed. The sciatic nerve is the longest nerve in your body, and it starts in your back, lower back, and it moves through your buttocks all the way down the side of your leg towards your foot. Some of the pain can be mild, and some can be pretty darn bad, almost making you stop, totally stop, and is agonizing. It can be. I wish no one to have to deal with this, but it actually is kind of common. So you get pain when the nerve itself is pinched or compressed. So pinched when one of your discs in your back can pinch it. From, I don't know exactly what reason, but just from whatever reasons. Could be just because you turn suddenly or something. It can also be when one of your muscles, maybe in your buttocks, is inflamed, and that can put pressure on the nerve as well. So I'm going to show you some things that have worked for me, and hopefully they will work for you. I say to proceed with caution. If your sciatica has been lingering for a few weeks, do try some of these things, and that will probably help it. If it's longer than 3 to 6 weeks, I suggest going to a doctor and finding out what's going on in your body and why you have it in the first place. Because to progress for months and months and months, like it's been with me, and I have gone to get medical attention, you need to kind of know what to do. Most of the time it'll just go away by itself, but sometimes you need to have some medical intervention. So I know that massages really help. So if you can get a massage, acupuncture helps for some people. Some inflammatory medications. I like the creams. I don't like to ingest anything internally just because it upsets your stomach. So the creams actually do work for a limited time. But I found there's a lot of things that you can do yoga related. So please proceed with caution and just don't force anything. We don't want to go towards any more sense of pain. We want to calm everything down. So, which brings me to my number one thing is breathing. So when we breathe and control our breath, this can help with the nervous system. And since we're dealing with the nerve, one of the biggest nerves in our bodies, that will help to create a calmer nervous system. So what I like to do is just lay down on my back, getting comfortable, and just relax every single part of your body. Close your eyes and just focus on breathing. And allow a softness come into your body. And allow that inhalation to be full. And then allow the exhalation to gradually get longer and deeper. And just allow that exhalation to go right through your body, from right when you breathe in through your nose and then allowing it to go exhale out through the nose, but slowly going right through the body all the way down into your toes. And I find that will help. That will help really calm everything down. It actually worked for me. When I was in agonizing pain, just focusing on my exhalation helped within a few minutes, it helped to calm it down and the pain wasn't so bad. So that's the first thing I would try, hands down, because I wasn't able to sit, I wasn't able to move. So that worked for me. After I got that working, and that really helped to calm everything down, then I was able to move a little bit. And I highly suggest just moving in a safe and as much painful way as possible. So I think the best way of doing that is just to walk. Just walk, and walk slow. Take your time. And I found when I was walking, the beginning, I had to take some pauses, some breaks. Most of the time what I would do is just lie right down when I took a break, focus on my breath again, focusing on those exhalations, allowing myself to calm back down again. Then I'd get back up and start walking again. And that really helped. When I was sitting, which I really didn't do too much of, I can sit now, but that being stagnant and not moving, that actually increased the pain. So I suggest move. Okay, so now let's get into some movements, some poses that will help with sciatica. So up on the hands and knees, cat and cow, good old cat and cow. Tucking those toes and even just doing like what a cat does, you know, when they massage, you know, their toes back and forth like that, you know, they're kind of gripping their claws like that. That really feels good in the toes, especially if you have sciatica that goes all the way down into the toes and into the arch of the foot. So just doing that really helps. Just going nice and slow, back and forth. And then plant those toes down, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and beginning to do the cat and the cow. So dropping the belly into the cow, opening up the chest, looking up. And then arching the back up, and just be aware of how that feels on the back, dropping the head into our cat. And you can do that as many times as you want, as long as it feels good. You might feel a little bit of a pain, but just breathe through it and try not to focus on the pain. There's going to be pain there. Trying to allow that just to be released. I also liked just going forwards and back a little bit. And that really helped to stretch out my back and in the glutes, because I found in my glutes is actually where my pain I felt it the most. So just stretching out there, that really helped. And then coming into child's pose. I found child's pose to be beneficial, but really difficult, because normally I'm really great at doing child's pose, but I found, boy, that the pain really could be really tough. So sometimes my child's pose was like this, or just like this with my butt up in the air. So just going to where you can go. Don't force anything. And if you need to use your fists to prop up your head or a block or something, or maybe you just need to stay on your hands like this, you know, or down like this and just keeping your butt up in the air, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so those ones really worked well for me. And then some other ones that worked really great was coming onto the back and then just bringing, let's see if I can get in here so you can really see what I'm doing. So keeping your knees bent and then just bringing the hips up. So just doing a few of these half bridges, holding it here, pressing into your upper shoulders, and then releasing it down. So I found that helped. And then bringing your one knee in towards your chest. To begin with, keeping that other leg bent with your foot on the floor, and then doing the ankle circles, because this seemed to help as well with the nerve which is running on the outside of the leg. And just going slow. So just doing this, trying to relax your jaw, your face. Try, when you're doing any of these poses, really focus on your breath and softening. Because tensing up does not help at all. Not even a little bit. Then once you've done really quite well with having that knee bent, you can lengthen it down and see how that feels in your body. If it's too intense, keep it bent. And then you can try to bring the other leg up and down. So this other knee can be bent or it can be straightened. And just try both just to see. As you can see, my hamstring's really, really tight, so I'm not even able to stretch it out or straighten it out. Don't worry about that. And if you can, if you want a little bit more throughout the calf, flex the foot and then just bring it up and down. And breathing through it. So as the knee comes in towards your chest, you are exhaling. As the knee and the leg straighten, you're inhaling. And going slow. And then you can hold it up here. You might hold it up here with your own strength. Maybe you want to bring your hands to your thigh just to hold it here. And see where you can soften. And again, remember, we're not forcing anything. We're just trying to release. Release and soften. Maybe it feels good to point and flex the foot a little bit. Good. And then bring it back down. And then you'll do the same, exactly the same thing on the other leg. Okay, maybe starting it the same way, doing some ankle circles. I started with the leg that hurt the most. This one is fine. So I like to start with the one that I want to release a little bit more. But you should do both of them just because you want some balance in the body. Okay, and then bringing that leg up and down. And you can straighten out that other leg. And that even actually really feels good on this leg too. Trying to press down, both hips down. And then you can hold on to that leg and just keep it up there. Maybe doing some pointing and flexing. And just be aware how all these things feel in your body. Okay, remember, we're not forcing. Breathe through it. See if you can soften. Good. And then bring that leg down. Bending both knees. I'm going to start with my left leg because that's the leg that's giving me my issues. So I'm going to take that leg, lift it up, and place the ankle on to the right thigh. So you're going to flex that foot. And you're just going to take your hand and just gently press on to your inner thigh. Just opening it up. You might feel some activity there. I do a little bit. Holding it there. And then bring both arms down, and we're just going to go from side to side. So bringing that foot down, coming back up, and then going towards the other side. And then we're just going to, you can do that for as long as you want. So going back and forth a few times, nice and slow, moving in time with your breath, taking your time. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pause. So you're going to put the foot down and you're just going to soften here. And be aware if that knee is coming in. So try to keep it open. So really try to push into the ground. But soften and breathe. And then we'll come back up. And go in the opposite direction. So these holds you can keep for, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. Keep them as long as you feel comfortable. And if you can, see if you can soften just a little bit more. Okay, so bringing it up. And then maybe stretching that leg back up again. And then bringing it down. And then we're going to take our hands and we'll thread right through here, trying to grab onto that thigh. So both feet are flexed. And now I'm feeling a lot going on here in my hips. So I'm not going to pull too much. You can always get a strap or a scarf and wrap it around this thigh to bring it closer in. But you honestly, I mean, it just depends on where you can grab. And we're just going to stay here. See where, again, if you can soften, try to relax your back down, relax your shoulders down, breathe. And that really, really helps. Just keep breathing, focusing on that exhale. That will help the nervous system, and the sciatic nerve is part of that nervous system, to calm down. Okay, and then bring the foot down. Maybe stretch that leg one more time up. You see, if you notice it's a little bit straighter now. And then bring it down. Bring the feet a little bit wider, and we'll just do side to side, windshield wiper, side to side. And then you can even pause, because this feels good too. Remember, we're trying to make ourselves feel better. We're not trying to force ourselves into any more pain. That's not what we want. And the other side, and we'll just hold it here again. You'll find one side feels better. See, I just got a little in the back of my leg. So I release it and then go back in and see if I can soften. You'll know. You'll know where you need to soften. You'll feel it in your body. And then bring it back up. So you're going to want to do that whole same thing onto the other side. Okay. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to show you some other things. So rolling yourself up. And you're going to stretch your legs out. Okay. As much as you can. So sitting up nice and tall. Flexing the feet. Your knees can be bent. And we're just going to straighten one leg at a time. Straighten one leg. Bend it, straighten the other leg. Again, we're not forcing it. As you can see, I can't fully straighten that leg because that's where my sciatic is coming from. So don't force it. Go as far as you can. And just start going back and forth. Breathing through it, being gentle, going slow. If you're finding it really difficult staying upright, maybe bring yourself against the wall, something to help stabilize you. So just going back and forth. And then you're just going to hold it. So try to sit up tall. Sometimes, moving the excess flesh around and sitting right onto your sit bones, that will help. It might be really intense too, so if it's too intense, keep a really healthy bend in your knees, okay? And straighten that leg and then do the other leg. And as you can see, I can't bring that whole leg down, and I'm just not going to. I'm not forcing it. I'm just holding it there and trying to soften, keeping both feet flexed. Just breathe. Yeah, not easy. And then we'll try to see if we can bring both knees down. And I can't. And that's okay. Holding it there. Good. And then we'll bring both knees in. And then give ourselves a little hug. As much as you can. Good. Okay, bring yourself up. Now some people like to do a full pigeon. I'm finding that hasn't been working very well for me. So a full pigeon is bringing your leg out and then one leg back And I found that hasn't been working for me. If it works for you, great, do it. Okay, so the idea is to bring one leg in front and the other leg back, like this. So this would be your pigeon, okay? And then you can go down a little bit more. I'm just finding that hasn't been working as much for me as the one lying down and doing like this. This is the same one. This is pigeon, okay? So I prefer it on my back. But if you want to do it on your front, if that feels good in your body, hey, do it. Some other things that work quite well, instead of doing a full pigeon like that, doing a pinwheel like this. That actually works quite well too. So just holding it here, try to soften, and you can even do a few twists here. So going in one direction and then going in another direction. And I find once you've done that a couple times, then you're able to reach and reach. And just doing this, that feels really good to me. I can feel it going through the side of my leg into my buttocks, and I can feel some release there. Okay, and then you want to switch those legs and doing the other thing. So same thing. So twist, twist, just gently to begin with. And really be aware when you're doing any of these that you're not tensing up in another part of your body. So then we're going to reach and reach. Good. And then bringing yourself up. So whatever's happening in through your lower back and through your glutes, you want to make sure you balance it with really trying to firm up your belly. So trying to create some contraction here, and that will help to support your back, as well as working in your psoas here, your hip flexor. So to do that, just going into a simple lunge, bringing your hands on your hips, and then just pushing your pelvis forwards a little bit. Okay, that will help to stretch out your quads and your hip flexor. Okay, so just gently here. Don't have to force it. If you need something underneath your knee, you can. So you can do it on your knee. You can also come up and then just, you're on the back toes, your front foot is firmly into the ground, and you're just doing a little bit of a pelvic tilt here, bending into your back knee and into your front knee, and that will stretch out the psoas and your front quad. So just holding it there. And remember to switch it around and do the same thing on the other side. And you might find that, I know this way, I find I can feel my hip flexor, but not so much my quad. So I'd rather come down here and then just do that for my quad a little bit more. But really, you know what? It's up to you. You just want to find some release and some balance there. Okay. Some people really like to do some forward bending as well too. I'm finding that really difficult. But one thing I recommend is bringing your hands onto your thighs, pushing your butt out, and then just leaning forwards and creating a nice flat back here. So I'm finding some lengthening, some releasing in my thigh, my hamstrings here. And just making sure your chest stays open so your back is nice and level as much as you possibly can. So I like forward bending this way. I'm not able to come all the way down. So everyone's going to be a little bit different. And then coming back up, slowly walk yourself back up. And then give yourself a nice big stretch. Maybe leaning over to one side. I find that feels really good. And then relaxing yourself down. So that was plenty for me. And add a walk in there somewhere. I would suggest probably going for a walk first and then doing what I just showed you, and that will feel really good on your body. But again, be cautious, be kind, and hopefully if you're experiencing any sciatic pain, hopefully you never do, but if you are, hopefully this video will have helped you. And if you're not, all of those poses are great for you anyway. That'll help with your mobility, it'll help with your flexibility, and all the benefits are there. Anyway, thank you for sharing with me this yoga snack. Have a great day. Namaste. Bye.